Hello, hi. I hope you've begun your week on a very high note. Today, the topic that probably I'm going to tell you about is something which is miles away from all the romance and mush that has been in the air, with Valentine's Day that just passed by. Today, I'm going to talk to you about my favorite book. One of my favorite books happens to be The Mafia Queens of Mumbai. It's written by Mr. Hussein Zaidi and Jane Borges. This book came out about 4.5 years back. I remember Women's Day was just around the corner, and again, the same story of gender equality and women's rights, and everything was just being discussed over coffees and everywhere discussions. I feel that of all the fields where women have faced challenges to succeed, there's one field that probably remains tacit and nobody even speaks about as mafia. Unlike the other fields where women at least deserve and at least get a basic push to reach out, I feel the mafia is about 80 to 90% male dominated, where uh, typically, like how in a Bollywood movie you would see the vamp probably just wearing short clothes, having a cigarette in hand, occasionally breaking into a cabaret, and that's about it. There was no really any role. But it's only when I read this book that I got to know that women have done amazingly well for themselves. um, this book especially touches my heart the most is because women typically have been the underdogs as far as the mafia goes. We are the fairer sex, we're weak, we're soft and all. But then there's one thing which we have much stronger than the men, which is our mind. And unlike the men who usually get into the mafia activities probably to feed their families in dire need or so on and so forth. But the women who I, in fact, came across in this book, they got into the underworld activities because at the back of their mind, they had this sinister plot, this very, very dark fantasy to rule the men, to make them bow to their needs. Um, not really much has even been written about the women in mafia. So Bollywood or stories or newspapers, everyone's glorified and made massive biopics on people like a Haji Mastan or a Dawood or Chota Shakil or an Abu Salim. But I don't think there's anything which has really been written about the women mafia. So this book, in fact, the authors of this book, Mr. Zedi is one of India's leading criminal reporters, and you have Miss Jane Borges, who's also very very illustrious individual in the field. Um, I think this book essentially has the stories of 13 different women who got into the mafia willingly, and they have rocked it. They, in fact, have just made the men so insecure of their, very existence in this field. Be it. Be it Jena Bai Daruwali, she is the lady. I mean, imagine a 70-year-old woman had the strength, the capacity, and the power to probably, get the two biggest names of underworld who were quarreling at that time, Haji Mastan and Dawood, together, and she actually consulted them as to how important it is for both these gangs to work together so that they become a unified and a much stronger force. You have a Gangubai Kathewali. She was this girl who was who eloped with her boyfriend to Bombay. Who she got typical Bollywood. She got sold to a brothel owner. From being that 17-year-old girl to how she became the matriarch of Mumbai's red light area, which is Kamatipura. She also happens to be one of the most fascinating characters for me in the story because there's this one speech that she gave at a women's right rally, wherein she had actually equated the role of commercial sex workers to that of the Jawans of the nation. I would want you to read the book though, but I'll give you a brief teaser. She says that, we are gharwalis, we are not ghar todne walis. So for all the brutalities that we all take is the reason why Mumbai's streets are safe today. it is very important for us to be recognized as the security people of the society than to be treated as pariahs. So if there's a jawan who endlessly battles the bullets from the enemies on the battlefield, when they die they are actually given the national honor. Whereas why is just the mention of a commercial sex worker taken as an abuse? So she talks about how there's such a beautiful concept associated with even the red light district. So the Hyderabad red light district is called Mehboob Ki Mehndi. Calcutta's red light area is called Sonaganchi. So why does everyone cringe their eyebrows when you talk about the commercial sex area of Mumbai, which is Kamathipura? She was one of the strongest she was a brothel owner, but the way she guarded the rights of her girls was just mind blowing. She's somebody who's had interactions with the prime ministers of the country, be it Morarji Bhai Desai, be it Jawaharlal Nehru. In fact, the legend goes in a way that Nehru said that with your capacity and your skill, you could have just married anyone, you could have just reached anywhere in life. Why did you choose this field? She said that I did not even have an option to choose this field. Nobody gets into it willingly. But this field chose me to stand up for all the millions of women who are suffering day on day, in this profession. There's Ashraf Khan, there's Sapna Didi. She's this 20-year-old widow. I mean, she loved her husband immensely. Her husband got killed, in a police encounter wherein Dawood had given the tip off. There's a 20-year-old widow who just decides to take on a mighty, mighty man like Dawood, and how she actually goes ahead, building from strength to strength, learning everything, from how to hold a gun, how to properly ride a jeep, how to build networks, how to get into the underworld business like hawala and arms and adulteration and so much more. So much so that Dawood, who was sitting in Dubai, actually got shaken up because his business pockets were deeply affected by this one lady and her gang of Sapna Didi. She had one of the most unfortunate ends to her life, wherein Dawood wanted to make a case, out of her life so that no woman will ever stand up, against his might. So when it got to a point wherein, Sapna Didi took ahead the biggest haste ever, wherein she traveled to Nepal to break a consignment of Dawood, which she succeeded on. Dawood ordered to have her killed, and in the most brutal way. In fact, she died because of 22 stabs, which were mainly on her breasts and her vagina. So that speaks, for the brutality and how scary the entire scenario would be. There would be others like Monica Bedi. Monica Bedi was a love fool, she just fell in love hopelessly with a boy, and later on discovered that he was a gangster, and how despite all of this they went ahead, kept falling in love, traveled from countries to countries, escaping the Interpol, escaping the police. But then they finally, the FBI and the Interpol found them, and when she got back, there was really no life left in her. So there's Monica Bedi, there's Tarannum, the dance bar, the danseuses who actually made lakhs and crores of rupees, not just with dancing per se, but she was somebody who was massively involved in cricket betting, and there were so many cricketers who got involved with her. In fact, she also happened to be one of the richest people, tax-paying people of Mumbai. So you can imagine. There are the wags. So you have Asha Gauli, you have Neeta Nayak, you have Rubina Siraj, who was Chota Shakil's Moti girlfriend. There are just so many more accounts. I am so glad that this book has come out, because the accounts which have given, believe me, even if you go through a Google, there's no other account of no particular detail of any of these women barring these books. The language is so fluid, I mean, it pretty much feels like you're reading just through a screenplay. Uh, the foreword to this book is actually written by Vishal Bharadwaj, and it's hard for me to believe that, how come no Bollywood person, surprisingly not even Vishal Bharadwaj and Ram Gopal Verma, have really picked up any of the stories of these women and made a story. I think this is blockbuster material. There these women who were in petrol adulteration. There you had these narco empresses like Jyoti Adarlingam. You had Mahalakshmi Papamani. You had, I mean, the list is endless. Then I also came across while researching about this lady called Santokh Behin Jadeja. She happened to be from my state, Gujarat. So she was one of India's only known underworld godmother ever known. The way, she transformed, from being a simple wife, who just wanted to avenge her husband's death, to one of the most feared names in the whole of belt of Rajkot, Porbandar, and Gujarat is just amazing. I with the Women's Day coming up, probably it'll be unfair if we try glorifying these women, because at the end of the day what they did was absolutely wrong. But the over the due course of time, I think the kind of strength and the gut that these women had is just unsurmountable. So I would urge all of you to read this book. It is just kick ass. Men, women, maybe not kids, but yeah, please do read this book. It's got amazing pictures. This is Rubina. This is Chota Shakukil's Moti girlfriend. Then you have, then I don't know if you can. This is Asha Gauli. This is Meeta Nayak. Then you have more interesting characters. And what a life! This Monica Bedi and Abu Salim's passport pictures. This is the couple in their happier times. This is Mahalakshmi Papamani. This is Jyoti Adil Lingam. I mean, it's just amazing. Probably this is Gangubai. So the interesting part about Gangubai is that there's a story that every brothel in Kamatibula has either the chest or the frame of Gangubai, because they pretty much worship her. I mean, they have a god-like, stature of Gangubai today. This is the lane where Jena Bai, the lady who negotiated and dealt with Haji Mastan and Daud Ibrahim lived. Especially if you're from Bombay, you must at least try visiting these areas. I did a couple of them. I'll be honest. I'd been to Dongri. I'd been to Ray Road. You'll have so many folklores that people will have to tell about these guys. So yes, somewhere I think these women who made it big in mafia are tremendously inspirational. And yeah, so do read this book. You will have just such amazing takeaways for it. And yeah, so I hope you guys are enjoying reading my blog. Do write into me, do like, comment, share, and let me know whatever more you are looking at, probably hearing from me, and I would just probably be more than happy to write more. I wish you all the best. Until the mush from Valentine's Day leaves you and the strength of becoming a mafia woman, if not becoming, at least thinking about it, comes to you, you have a good time. Bye.